Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Dropped Frames here on this. Well, it's nice here. It's very snowy where Zeke's at. He was showing us pictures before. I had to make sure
Dude,
that it wasn't snowing here because we're in St. Louis and who knows what's happening outside. I don't go
just
outside, but yeah,
just for reference, like
that's a
that's my
penis,
front yard
Zeke.
right now.
Zeke, that's
Oh,
a
oh,
penis.
oh, oh, oh God. Oh God, hold on.
That's a lot of snow. What? So is that just normal? Does everyone just wake up and just look outside? Shit. And then they just go about their day as normal? Is that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
it
yeah.
doesn't bother. Okay.
It's it's a known thing in Montana. Montana is one of those places where a lot of places have the reputation that if you don't like the weather here, wait 5 minutes or whatever.
Yeah,
Montana is very much one of those places where the weather can change on a dime, and it can and does like
I see.
all the time.
All right. Well, stay
So
safe out
yeah,
there. I don't bring
it
in
was
that snow here.
zero snow. It was a nice fall day. I was outside last night at like, 'cause I go to bed around like 4 a.m. ish.
Yeah.
So I was outside like, I don't know, like 3, just sitting out there looking. Everything was fine. Nice fall day. Go to bed. Wake up this morning. I'm just like, Winter Wonderland. Oh, good,
It
excellent. This will be a
happens.
fun move.
It
Is
happens.
it the kind of thing where that was expected, or did it just kind of like come out of nowhere?
I don't pay attention to the
The
local
weather.
news or weather or anything like that. So
I hear you.
Yeah.
it was a surprise. I just looked outside and went, damn it.
Yeah. Makes sense.
But I don't get
We're in the
too bad.
opposite
I don't
thing
get
over
too
here.
down on it because like I don't have to leave to go anywhere.
Sure.
know?
Yeah. That's one of the perks of the job. Yeah. Without a doubt. Did you get, speaking of random, not necessarily weather, but I think they did it for weather purposes. Didn't impact any of us because none of us are in Northern California. Did you see them just like letting people know that the power was going to be turned off for maybe 7 days and good luck? They were doing it for wildfire issues because apparently those lines is what started all the bad wildfires in the recent years. But yeah, they're just shutting off power for like a very large population in the San Francisco area. Which
Really messed up, man.
yeah, it's I couldn't imagine. There was people last night in the Destiny clan that were like, well, my power's getting shut off for an hour or in an hour for an amount of days that I don't know. So I'm trying to get all my weeklies done. And I'm just like, I can't. What does that even mean? Like, what are you supposed to do? How do you even
Hope
react to
everyone's eating
that?
all their fridge food.
Yeah. Yeah. They said that the wait to get gas was 2.5 hours because everyone was panicking, as you do, and probably trying to fill up the generators as well as for the people that could afford it. Yeah, that just. If anyone's watching from California on a phone or anything right now, save your battery. You have no power. Stop. And be safe. Good luck out there. It's ridiculous.
If you're watching from California, don't forget your Twitch. You can use your Prime Amazon Prime sub.
Jesus. Not only to overnight a new generator to your house, you can also use it to subscribe to your favorite streamer. Exactly, Zeke. Good job. Way to stay on brand.
Yeah.
Well played.
Yeah.
Well played.
Co
No,
what
it's
up?
funny with all this weather stuff. Like we're in the opposite boat over here in North Carolina. So it's like flash snow in Montana, whereas we 2 weeks ago had 100-degree day in
That's
early October, and it's like, what is going on, man?
yeah.
Like records are getting set all over the place for highs and everything. It's been nuts. Then a cold front came in. It was 89 one day. The next day it was 61.
Yeah, that's
So
pretty
it's
similar
like,
to us here in St. Louis. Yeah.
yeah,
Pretty
wild,
much
dude. It
mirrored.
is wild.
It's ridiculous. It's gonna be a
End
weird
times,
winter.
baby. End times, man. Let's go. Let's
Yeah.
go. Let Mad Max future. Let's do it.
Zeke's ready.
I'm
Zeke's
watching
ready.
Preacher right
Ready.
now. It's way too relevant.
Oh God. Which season are you in?
I think we just got to 3.
Okay, you're for. I stopped at the end of 2, where they were in like Louisiana or something like that.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, something.
We're a little bit further than that, I think.
Okay, all right.
We go ahead and ride it out. I think we're gonna finish it.
There you go.
It is a weird show. It's a lot of fun though.
Yeah, I mean the book
What,
was weird.
what show I missed it?
Preacher.
Preacher.
Oh,
Watching
okay,
Preacher
okay.
right now.
Yeah, it stays pretty faithful to the books as well. So yeah, they do, Zeke. There is a mentally ill Jesus. There is a lot of There's a lot of the books in that show.
Maybe they start.
Humper
'Cause I haven't
Dude.
watched season 3 yet. Maybe they start getting back to being faithful to the books, but
Well, season
the
2
first
kind of goes
season-
astray, I guess. Well, yeah,
Yeah.
season 1 was like a prequel in a sense to the books. Anyways, yeah, it's a whole other thing. Let's not get into that. Co, what episode are we on?
33,112.
Mm-hmm.
May have gone back in time a bit, but time is crazy.
Yeah, time's weird. Where to begin this week? What do you guys want to do? We could just jump into the news. We got questions. We got Kit Boga on in 2 hours. I've played a singular game, so I don't have much to talk about. I don't. Co, you've been jumping around from game to game to game. Zeke, I think you're kind of doing the use as well with Indie Sunday and jumping around as well.
Well, I try to check out Co, but like he has just not been playing the games I like. Like he's not. he's changed, man. He used to play like all these great games, and now he's just playing what he likes to play, and it's just I don't want to be part of it anymore.
I see somebody follows me on Twitter.
Oh, Lord.
No, dude, I'm dude, I'm on your side. You know, I'm always on your side, brother.
Oh yeah,
I gotta point that out because that shit was, it's something that we as variety streamers we deal with that a lot. Like, you'll see someone come in and be like, I don't like this game, I'm out of here. You're like, well, fine, fuck you then, I guess.
Well, it's really interesting because I've been doing variety for like over 5 years, and I've generally kept like the same genre types. I do play a huge amount of different games, but they're all generally kind of the same type-ish. And then like starting at the beginning of last year, I started threading in the Personas, the Yakuzas, and this year has been kind of visual novels and stuff. I'm really going outside of my comfort zone. And what I've learned is while I have gone outside of my comfort zone, many long-term viewers of mine have not.
Oh.
And especially like over this year with the visual novels and stuff, like Doki Doki Danganronpa and stuff, like it's been really eye-opening. When some and also it's very strange because like I never only play those types of games. I always play other games in between them. I split screen during the day and usually play 2 different games specifically, so it's not like just one type of game. But even then, man, it's like they see the same type of game just happening frequently, and it's like, oh God, he's changed. You're completely different now. I got a long message from a long timer, and he was basically saying how disappointed in me that he was.
Oof.
And this I think was one of the things that inspired my feed. He was disappointed in me because of how the games I'm playing these days are just so outside of what he thought was like something I should be doing, essentially.
Oof.
He's just like, these are boring to watch. I don't understand why you keep doing this. I've been a sub for a long time, and there's lots of people that don't like it, so I don't know why I need to keep playing these games. And it's just kind of like, I don't know what to tell these people. Like, I'm having fun with them. Like, I'm enjoying the journey. I know there's people that like watching them too, so it's just like, I want to make everyone happy, but there's times when it's just impossible. It's impossible to do it.
See, this is all a result of how nice of a person you are, because people don't even send me that shit because they know that I will just be like, go fuck yourself. That's my response.
The thing that kind of like throws a wrench in my thinking on all this stuff is this kind of, whenever I play these games, I think it's pretty obvious I'm having a good time. Like I just got done with this with Somnium Files. And that game is like incredible. I love that game beginning to end. And funny enough, that person actually pinged that game. And it was kind of like, you see me enjoying myself.
Yeah.
I'm having fun with it, but you're telling me to do other stuff. Like, what are you expecting from this bit of feedback? Like, are you expecting me to go, oh, well, let me stop playing the games I'm really enjoying. What games would you like me to play? I don't, it's strange. It puts me in a very weird position to get that kind of feedback, especially, like I said, I like to make people happy. I want them to have a good time and feel welcome in the channel. So again, just no real right answers in a situation like that.
Yeah, I don't know how to respond to that, both as a business and as a person, apart from just not like the best answer is to not answer in a sense and just keep doing what you're doing, unfortunately.
Yeah. I mean, my kind of de facto response to these things is just these days kind of like, you know what? There'll be more games later. Check out my YouTube, and I'm sorry you're not enjoying the current content.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I can't really do anything else.
That's the
I'm
proper
not.
way.
I'm sorry, but I'm not gonna stop having fun in the games I'm playing. Like I'm still gonna keep playing these games and enjoying them. You know, I've got working on Danganronpa V3 right now. I can't wait to try VLR, the next 999. Probably gonna play the third one after that. You know, like, and I'm really looking forward to this stuff.
Yeah.
So,
well, plus I think at the frequency that you play through games, and I think the frequency that most variety streamers play through games, like you're gonna be on it for like maybe 4 days at max, and then it's gonna be something new. Might be in the same realm,
yeah.
I guess the same like genre, but it's still gonna change
And
frequently. So
like I was saying earlier, you know, I specifically try to be playing at least a couple games at once, so the people that don't like those types of games have something else to watch. And it's just like, if you're not going to watch the other one,
yeah, there's nothing you can do.
nothing I can do. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the curse of a content creator. I think is not everyone's gonna enjoy
Variety
everything.
content creator.
Well, right,
I
specifically.
have to admit, it's made me think recently, like, every so often there's been this twinge where it's just kind of like, man, it must be nice just to have one game you enjoy playing all the time.
Dude,
that everyone in your community expects. Nobody expects you to do anything different. Like, it's kind of like I was thinking lately, like Tim the Tatman. Like, he used to do like kind of a bunch of different games, and then Fortnite came out and he blew up, and now he relatively just plays Fortnite, and it's all he talks about. He tweets about, does all the comment, and it's like, man, every expectation is met every stream by everyone who's watching. That must be awesome.
But yeah,
I was still having fun.
It was funny.
That's great.
I was talking with T-Rex about this, who primarily plays Destiny 2, and well, I guess not primarily. He's kind of gotten off of the lately. He's been playing a lot of Destiny 2, obviously, and we were both just saying like, man, it must be nice to be a Fortnite streamer. Like, you just get on. Everyone wants to watch Fortnite for the most part. Like, you know what you're playing every single day. And then I started thinking about it more.
Your numbers are going to be great. You know you're going to get like it's just like this. It's just always going to be a good day. The only caveat there is it's always going to be a good day as long as you're having fun. Like,
Yes.
I'll never forget the tail end of like Summit's Fortnite experience. Like, there were because I lurk in Summit a lot. He was actually the first big streamer to raid me back in the day, so I'm lurking in there frequently. And yeah, like it was really rough the last few weeks he was playing Fortnite. It's like there was a couple times he was just like, I hate playing this game, but I have nothing else to play. And it's like you could tell he was trying. He was trying to give everyone a good show. He was trying to like do that kind of stuff, but sometimes you just can't do it. On that note, though, I don't understand how some of these guys have been playing it every day for years and years. That blows my mind.
Yeah.
And still like enjoy it and be jazzed to do it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Impressed.
I think at that point you're just riding the stream in terms of like viewership and subs and all. Like, that's what gets you hyped, is the actual stream numbers associated with it, not necessarily the game. Because there's like a high associated with that. If you're having a good stream, like numbers wise, you want to stream more. And so I think if that's continuing every day and you're seeing growth, like, there's probably some addiction there. But I couldn't play Fortnite for a week straight, let alone like years, like you said, or months, like these guys are doing. But
I did PUBG for about 2.5 months when it came out, and when I was done with PUBG, I was done with PUBG. Like, it was the kind of thing where the last time I closed it, I was just like, and that chapter's closed.
yeah, I get it.
Woo.
I get it. Anyways,
Again,
the woes of a streamer.
Yeah, I can't play a game. I can't play a game until it's played out, because I feel if I'm bored, then I'm boring. And even if I'm not, even if the audience is entertained and I'm bored, like, I can't do it. It's in the back of my head going, dude, you're fucking, this is boring. It's totally boring.
Yeah.
And
Yep. I
Couldn't agree more. Absolutely right. In fact, I was getting worried about that with the current game I'm playing, Danganronpa V3, because like this particular game, like, I like the other two Danganronpas, but this particular one had like 6 hours of intro exposition before it actually got to like the part of the game that I really like. And you can see at the end of like this, the last stream I did of it, at one point I was just going through the dialogue like, somebody die, somebody die, somebody die, like just hitting A, going through it like, where's the murder? Somebody die. Come on, I want to solve this. And I was getting worried to the point where it's like, I really hope I'm not like losing my flair for this. And then the murder happened and everything got better.
Oh, there you go.
But still, it gets a little scary every so often.
Co-Carnage. Or wait, Murder Solves Everything. Co-Carnage 2019. There you go. That's the name. Yeah.
Co-Carnage, October 9th, 2019.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, let's start with news. We'll go from there and see where this takes us. Then we'll jump back into the games. Because I don't know if you guys have noticed, but it's been kind of a news-heavy week. In the most, I don't know, laziest way is how I'll say it. The PS5 was announced for next holiday, and it was through a tweeter, a twatter.
And they just had a showcase like a month ago.
It was weird. Yeah, I guess it was like a soft announcement or something like that yesterday.
Yeah, I like someone in chat just said, "Wait, what?" Yeah, they announced the PS5. Exactly. Yeah. Wait, what? They did?
Yeah, the
Lord.
PlayStation Twitter.com/PlayStation announced PlayStation 5 launches holiday 2020, and I think there was a Wired article associated with it. They gave some details. Games can be custom installed, so it'll be single player, multiplayer only, which is kind of cool. The DualShock 5, the controller has now adaptive triggers, haptic feedback, USB-C, and a bigger battery. Thank God it has USB-C. I need more USB-C cables in
That's
my
the one,
life.
the oval one that you can do any
Yes.
direction, right?
Yes.
Oh, thank God.
And I need less micro USB because I fucking hate the micro USB things. Yeah. Those things. Those
I
cables
think
suck.
with those connectors, they go like good bad because like the what was one for the PlayStation 3?
That was like a proprietary bullshit, wasn't it?
No. It was just a bigger micro USB. Is there a mini and a micro?
Maybe.
Yes.
Oh, that was mini USB.
Wait, where's that?
Those ones are just like they were about twice the size as what they are now, and they would lock in and be fine. Like you still have to use them for your like your motion controls. Like they're the same connectors. Yeah. See, those ones were fine. The micro USB was fucking disgustingly bad and terrible, and it would like have you ever been in this situation where you're like, oh, my Xbox controller is running out of batteries because it's rechargeable. Put in ding diddle ding diddle ding ding diddle ding diddle ding.
Yeah.
Just over and over and fucking over again because the connection was so bad. But yeah, the new USB-C is what it is, right? That I use for my like
USB-C.
my Pixel.
Yeah.
Yeah, USB-C. Yeah. It's so good
stuff. Yeah. One of the things that I think the Wired article went into for, I think it's the haptic feedback. Apparently they can like give you so they can make like a pistol feel different from like an AK when firing it by like giving you force feedback against your thumb moving it, if that makes sense. Kind of like how racing wheels, when you like go to turn left, they'll like make you turn right. It's that, but now on a joystick, which they could do some interesting things with that. I'd be curious to see what game devs can do.
Super, super cool when done well.
Yeah.
The only issue is that it also makes the controllers a lot easier to break because it's a lot more parts inside the parts that are being used most often. So I'm really hoping that it's like a very well done haptic feedback system and not just like a tacked in haptic feedback system.
Right.
That could be a thing.
Yeah, we'll see.
Bows and arrows are a good example. Like as you pull a bow back, it's harder and harder to pull your thing back. Like it can be, if done well, it's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
The Vive controller.
Yes.
Has that like for everything.
Yeah.
I wish there was like, please make an option to shut it off when I don't want it. Please.
Yeah. Who knows?
If it's like Rumble, they probably will. Hopefully.
What else? Ray tracing on a hardware level, which is interesting. Bluepoint, who are the devs behind such remasters as the Shadow of Colossus remaster. They also did Uncharted, the Nathan Drake Collection. I guess they did the 360 port of Titanfall, the PlayStation 4. Like, they're kind of just known for porting games, I believe. I'm trying to see exactly some of the stuff that they've done primarily. It doesn't look like anything. It's mostly just been games ported. They're apparently working on a, quote, big game for the PS5. I don't know what that is.
I would hope so.
Yeah.
I would hope they have many big games.
Yeah, they didn't say anything about other games coming out for it, but it is fully backwards compatible. So it's one of those things where I really wonder what their message is going to be for this holiday season, in the sense of like, we've got a great console coming out next year that's backwards compatible, but you can buy a PlayStation 4 this year for $400. Like, there's got to be a price drop or something coming. They don't expect people to just buy a brand new console for that a year later and have it just be a paperweight, right? Like, Maybe they do. I don't know. Maybe that's how business works, and they just don't really care. But they might garner some bad faith there with their customers. I don't know how that's going to work. And then they also said that there's no need for gameplay loading tricks on the SSD. I kind of like those gameplay loading tricks. They can create some cool things. But if it's faster and I don't have to sit in a long elevator, sure, that's great.
I was
I'm
gonna say,
into that.
or you could do it like Code Vein.
Oh, what does Code Vein do?
Basically, just gives you a long, completely devoid of anything interesting, generic, boxy hallway to run down between levels.
I see.
And I remember when I ran down the first one, I thought my game was bugged and not loading properly because there was just like it was like the most basic, like just nothing. Just run it and you run down the end, then you make a right and you run down there, and then you make a left and run, and then you go left and then right and then left, and then you just go down, and then it's like you're at a new level. But I mean, literally just like box hallways.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll get to Code Vein because we haven't talked about that yet. At least the full release when we get into the games. The other thing is that the Blu-rays are going to be able to support 100 gigs, which I wonder if that means games are just going to, because they also said that games can be installed, custom installed, where it's single player and multiplayer only. You could delete whichever side you want. If they're going to be 100 gig Blu-rays, does that mean that just games are going to be bigger on the disc and then you can just choose what to install? I don't know. We'll have to see. They didn't get into any other details apart from that, and it came off of a Twitter almost a full year in advance. Like, when are they going to get out there and start actually showing shit? Also, it's called the PlayStation 5. That's the official name. So I'm curious what Xbox is like. Is Xbox going to get out there and call their shit like the Xbox Angel or something like a weird name? Because they've always had these weird nomenclatures. Or do they just call it like the Xbox? Did they just get back to it?
I think Xbox Box One.
Box One?
Yep.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see what happens with all that. But yeah, just a rather uneventful announcement off of that on a random Monday in October. So that's out there. What else happened? Doom Eternal got delayed to March 20th, which, as a streamer, I think I'm okay with. Although the beginning of next year is going to be crazy with what? There's Final Fantasy VII Remake, Cyberpunk, Doom. And what's the other one that I'm missing? There's another big game that's coming out.
Oh, there's multiple other big games.
Yeah, but there's like
I don't remember all
Last
of
of
them.
Us 2. Last of Us 2 is the other one. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, those are all within a 3-month period. So that's a little crazy. I think they went on to state that did they use the word crunch here? I haven't read this in full. Let's see. Throughout the development of Doom Eternal, our goal has been to deliver a game that exceeds our greatest expectations across the board to make sure we've delivered the best experience. For Doom Eternal, to live up to our standards of speed and polish, we've made the decision to extend our launch date by a few months to March 20th, 2020. We know many fans will be disappointed by this delay, but we are confident that Doom Eternal will deliver a gaming experience that is worth the wait. In addition to shifting Doom Eternal launch date, we've made a couple other changes we wanted you to know about. So they announced a new mode, Invasion Mode, which will be available for a free update shortly after launch, which allows you to enter another player's game as a playable demon. That's kind of cool. I'm into that.
That sounds pretty awesome.
I hope that they have an extension where viewers can do that. That would be awesome.
Right? Oh, man.
If they have like
Completely.
a Twitch
Especially
extension,
since they had-
where it spits out
They
like
had
a
the
link.
decent extension with Rage 2,
Yeah,
which they published, granted. But yeah, that would be really, really cool.
that'd be
I'd love to
super
fight
cool.
viewers and have them invade the game and stuff and everything. That'd be so great.
Yeah, if they gave you an extension that like you could sign up to get a login password or some shit to a single player game, that'd be cool. And then they could just join up and enter your game. I don't know how feasible that is, but I'd be into it. Doom Eternal for Nintendo Switch will be released after the other platforms. We'll announce the date on the future. And then Doom 64 will be available on blibbity blobbity blop. Yeah. Who cares about Doom 60? Is anyone actually excited about Doom? I see one Doom 64 pog in the chat. Is anyone into that? I don't.
Honestly, I got to say this. I'm really, really glad they made the decision, because if they would have released Doom Eternal as an unpolished and buggy mess, that could have been catastrophic. Not only for the Doom franchise, especially after 76 from Bethesda and having them kind of like be so into it and everything. That would have been really, really bad. So, and I think I speak for most people, and I think Doom is just one of those like it's ready when it's ready franchises.
Right.
Like I think we can just wait for it, like until it's ready to be played and it's ready to be awesome. I don't think anyone like needs it earlier, you know. So they can do whatever they need to do to make a really good Doom.
I agree.
think that's fine.
I agree.
I think that
Like that-
Doom. I think Doom fans are loyal and understanding. Like I would say above a lot of other of like game fandoms, like Doom people are like, we want Doom to be the fucking best, like it was, you know, last time, and take your time. Take your time.
Yeah.
Like I'll try to tamp my bloodlust down in the meantime.
Also, as Chad is pointing out, that's absolutely right. Not only did we have Fallout 76, but then we had the Wolfenstein Youngblood.
Oh
Just
God.
Complete. What the hell are you thinking? Like, oh,
And a
my
lot
Lord.
of that hasn't been fixed or changed, I don't think.
Oh, it hasn't
to
been
date.
touched.
Yeah.
They're just letting it ride, man. They're just letting it ride.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's weird stuff.
Well, give me a refresher. Remind me what's Wolfenstein? What's the deal with it?
Wolfenstein Youngblood was basically they took Wolfenstein, they killed like the story, they added in arbitrary co-op, put in a bunch of very weird mechanics that nobody likes, having to do with using the same gun and the same armor. Brought in like silver everywhere to replace a currency that you can purchase with real money. They kind of gutted the soul of what made Wolfenstein special and jammed in a bunch of buzzwordy features, and then
Okay.
and it was buggy. On top of all that stuff, it was super buggy. And Pete, like me, when I played it with Barry the first day, we were having desyncs and AI would screw up and die in a wall, so you couldn't res them. They just die 3 times and you lose the level. It was just a mess. Man.
Okay.
Oh, maybe some of that's been fixed, but
Yeah.
No good.
It's been rough for sure. Also, I think this was last Thursday. Red Dead Redemption 2 was finally announced for the PC. It came out today that it's going to be 150 gigs required to download that, which is a lot of 4K textures. That's a big fucking game.
Those announcements are always so bittersweet to me.
Yeah.
It's awesome that it's coming out on PC, but I hate that these companies just
Double dip.
double dip is a normal. Like that sucks, man. Like I miss the day and age when the PC and console versions would just come out at the same time. You can just pick one and not fall behind or have to buy the game twice. And it's just like, but I mean, Red Dead Redemption 2 on PC, that's a given. It's going to be amazing. It's going to run better. It's going to look better. It's just a given.
Yeah.
So, and people buy it twice. I mean, I'll probably buy it twice. I'm not even a big RDR2 fan, and I'll probably buy it twice.
It might actually be it might be what gets me to actually like that game. Hopefully. I enjoyed Red Dead 2, but a lot of it was so slow and it ran at like sometimes subs 30. And I was just annoyed.
Mm-hmm.
I was just pissed off by that. Like it looked fantastic. Even on a console, it looked fantastic. But when it would FPS dip, I just got pissed off. And that took me out of the game. But eager to see what that looks like on PC. I think 5M also, who make the GTA 5 RP servers, they announced that they're going to be doing a RP server for this as well. So that'll probably blow up pretty big on Twitch. And I'm curious to see how that goes over. It'll be interesting. I know a lot of the RP people were already, practicing their Western accents and getting their draw.
What I'm seeing right now, like on Twitch, people doing console Red Dead Redemption like RP stuff. It's not like the actual what it's going to be.
Right. Yeah, that's just within the multiplayer of Red Dead.
Okay.
Yeah. I think 5M is saying like they're going to make a server just like.
Okay.
I think if I understood the.
It's like GTA, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll see how big that blows up, because there's a lot of people in chat are pointing out like you can only do cowboy and Wild West things. You can't like have an apartment. I guess you can have a place where you sell drugs. I guess that's timeless. Ultimately, there's no phones, so I don't know how you're gonna like communicate with people. I don't know. We'll see how that goes. Maybe they'll have to write.
I really hope there's some kind of
hand-drawn messages. Yeah,
It's like you write something on a thing and you put it to a bird and it just flies straight up.
Yeah.
People need them, and then it just like comes down on the other person and drops a message on their head.
That'd be
So
great.
cool.
Yeah.
Smoke signals could be a thing.
That'd be awesome.
What if they put in legit actual smoke signals?
I'd be into
That would
it.
be amazing. Where like you'd have to actually look around and be like,
Yeah.
Jim's that way.
Yeah.
Let's go see
It'd
Jim.
be great. I'd be into it.
Oh man.
It'll be cool to see like if people like do like make like gunshot signals to each other so they can like
Sure.
hear each other from across like a great distance because you can't like pick up the cell phone, right? So you're like 3 shots means yes, 2 means no, this means that, like that kind of stuff.
If anything, chat's kind of nailing it. You're gonna be able to role play the mailman, right? Like,
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, you'll have someone that role plays the messaging pigeon.
The Pony
Yeah.
Yeah. Or someone
That's
that
a great
runs
idea.
that business. And then you have people like fucking with the messages and shit like that, creating lies. Like, all right,
Yo, I heard
into
that.
it. Yeah, I'm into it.
Zeke's like, JP, you want a group? Is the message to me. Hey, JP, you're a dick. Hey, JP, look what Zeke wrote.
yeah, exactly. That'll be fun.
Zeke said something about your mama.
Yeah. That comes out November 5th, so that's less than 30 days away. Soon. So we'll see how that. It's also doing the thing where it's releasing first on the Rockstar PC game client, and then 30 days after it's on Steam, I think, or something like that. So
December. Yep.
I don't know if I guess I'll. Am I gonna buy it twice? Like, am I gonna buy it first on the fucking Rockstar store, then again on Steam?
Did you play all the way
No.
through it, JP?
No, I did not. I did not complete it.
Wait a second.
Yeah.
Wait a second. Those versions are going to be able to play with each other, right?
Oh, I don't know if they're closed. That's even more interesting. That would be really shitty if they're closed off from one another.
Have they announced that? I mean, I'm guessing they will.
Yeah. Okay, chat's saying yes.
Okay, chat is saying yeah, you probably will. Okay.
If
It
you-
uses the Rockstar
yeah.
Social Club.
So it's all the same
And the
social
Steam
club
version
thing.
plugs into that too. So that should be okay. Another thing I was confused about that I later got set straight on is I know a lot of people are playing the online version on PS4 and actually buying gold with real life money. So I was like, when you do the PC version, that's all going to transfer over, right? And I originally got some people saying no, it wouldn't. But apparently that's how it worked in GTA 5.
Sure.
When the PC version came out, the console versions you could like all work together, right? So it should be fine. Yeah, I'm guessing there will be gold sharing. I guess you'd call it. But yeah,
We'll see.
that'd be weird if not.
Yeah. In the world of hard drive space, came out 3 hours ago. Modern Warfare PC is going to take 175 gigs of hard drive space. Fuck, man. That's a fifth of a terabyte drive. That's crazy. That's actually insane. I wonder if that's all like cutscene
What is it?
stuff for
Cutscenes
single
and voice
player.
acting? Yeah. Maybe like 4K. Crazy? I don't know, man. That's
I don't-
wild. That's wild.
You don't think they like rendered that shit in 8K, right? Because there's
Would it
8K
just be lazy
TVs out.
compression?
I don't know. People in chat are saying it's for installation only, so maybe they got out there and said that. That's just insane. That's a lot.
Oh.
I don't know.
Hmm.
What else?
Wow.
Random tidbit. There was over 2.46 million players logged into Destiny 2 on October 7th. So it seems like they had a pretty good launch there. That's unofficial news. That's coming from warmind.io/activity. So I think it's just counting like people that have done achievements and shit like that. So not necessarily official numbers, but pretty close to it. And then some other fun numbers. Fortnite is finally starting to drop because it can no longer go up anymore on mount money. Fortnite revenues dropped 52% year over year or year on year in Q2 2019. So yeah, dropped about half, but still the headline's a little bit misleading because like it's 52% drop of like billions. So they're fine, right? Like they're still okay. They're still making a shit ton of money month over month. They're going to be Epic's just fine. It's not like they're going out of business or anything. And that's kind of it in terms of news. Was there anything else you guys saw that you wanted to bring up? It was just kind of a lot of like analytical announcements as well as that random PlayStation 5 announcement.
Yeah, I'm guessing we're gonna go ahead and not talk about.
Oh yeah, the Blizzard shit. Yeah, man. What?
I've got.
Hold on.
Oh.
We can't talk about that? Okay. China owns everything, so If you guys are gonna talk about it, I'm
come
gonna
on,
duck.
man.
I'm gonna
No,
duck.
you know what?
I gotta go.
I'm not scared. I'm not scared. I'm gonna say this shit. Oh God. Ah, oh God. Just kidding.
Is it safe?
I've got absolutely no ties to Blizzard. I don't play any Blizzard games. Like I have played them, but I don't currently play WoW or Hearthstone or Overwatch or anything like that. And I haven't for a while. Even when the WoW
Yeah, it's tough getting up. No, man, working out is weird.
Right. There's my
even when
workout for the
wave
day.
came back, I didn't play it, but so like that news, like it's gross. It sucks.
It's real
disgusting, but-
fucking shitty. It also
Yeah.
is a great segue into talking about how much China owns in the media world. Not just games. Like, they have fucking money in everything.
Dude, GGG, because of Tencent, has been backing off on all that stuff as well. That's PoE, man.
Yeah.
Like, it's wild what's going on. But what's even stranger, and this is the part that really makes everything super murky, and it's important to mention this side, because, you know, there's always two sides to an issue. So Blizzard makes all these guys sign contracts, obviously.
Yeah.
And they showed in the release thing, in their contract, it says specifically, if you are on a world stage, you cannot say anything to incense or like provoke any large communities of people. Like, they have that in their contract, and they cited that when they fired the guy.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, yeah, all this is terrible, and sure, Hong Kong should be free, but like, that dude kind of broke his contract. Like, anyway you split it, he signed a document saying don't piss off a lot of people, and he said something that pissed off a lot of people.
Right.
So it's kind of like, yeah, it sucks. Don't get me wrong. And this is not a commentary politically, but it is kind of black and white.
Sure. I mean, as a company, like, thinking as a company,
Sucks.
as a company, let's be clear, they're in a really shitty position, because you will lose billions if you piss off China. You will lose your fan base if you do the other way. This way is
And what's
morally
even-
right. This way makes you money.
Yeah.
Companies got to
This
look
is-
at that
this-
and maybe go to the money direction, right?
This is a perfect example of morality versus business. Like, they and Blizzard is taking the business route, and in their mind, they're totally justified, which is why we're not hearing basically anything from Blizzard. It's because they're like, legally, we did exactly what we were supposed to. We're not going to touch this. So but at the same time, morally, it's arguably reprehensible. And for those saying about the two casters and things, like, yeah, that whole thing was super shady.
Oh, it was
like,
super
the fact that they
fucked
fired
up.
those two casters too. But and here's where it gets even shadier. Like, in their mind, from what we understand, the fact that the casters ducked under the desk before the guy said it,
They
meant they had
knew.
pre-knowledge of what was being said. So it's kind of it's just a shitty situation.
Yeah.
The whole thing is shitty, and it's politics. So yeah, but no, at the end of the day, like, it's messy and nasty.
Yeah. And the other thing is,
No winners here. No winners.
because Blizzard's fan base is so large, I mean, it's probably one of the biggest and maybe the most not loving. I don't know. They have a very diehard fan base. Let's go with that word. You're seeing like a ton of people cancel and tweet. Like, there's a huge social media push right now to tweet that you're canceling your WoW subscription. BlizzCon is in 3 weeks. We've talked about on the show how multiple times BlizzCon is like a must for this year for Blizzard to like actually put out some big announcements. They can't act like it's 3 weeks away. Yesterday on a collegiate Hearthstone thing, someone was holding up a sign that said "Free Hong Kong," and they had to like cut away from it. And that's like a random collegiate Hearthstone event. BlizzCon's their biggest event. There's going to be zero Q&As. They're going to like have to make sure that no one rushes that stage. It's just a fucking shit show. And so it's rough.
By the way, just a heads up, I wasn't aware of this. A lot of people actually argued that the two casters didn't know what the guy was going to say and ducked because they saw him wearing the mask when he came back on.
Yeah.
I didn't. That's a really good point. In which case, absolutely, they probably shouldn't have been touched. So yeah, even a murky situation, even murkier.
Yeah. Well, and then you think about the other thing too is like the people that are on stage at BlizzCon and the contractors that are working BlizzCon in terms of the broadcasters, the different casters for all the events and stuff, like, they have nothing to do with any of this. If they go up there and cast a game, they're going to get shit flung at them for this as well. And now you see, I think Brian Kibler, who usually casts Hearthstone, has actually bowed out of casting it, according to people in chat. And I think you're going to see a lot of people do that as well. So it's, if I worked at Blizzard right now and I was just like a normal employee and not someone on like the C level or anything like that, I'd be fucking furious, and it would be a shitty situation because you cannot do anything or you will lose your job. There was a Blizzard campus tweet yesterday where in the center of the Blizzard campus they have like a statue of an orc on a Frostwolf. It's awesome. It's great looking. But on the what are the sayings on there? It's like
it was. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I don't remember
the
exact
every voice
name.
matters maybe. And like an employee went out there and taped paper over it, apparently, or someone on the Blizzard campus went over and taped paper. Think globally, and every voice matters. That's what it was. So, yeah, it's just a fucking shit show. And everyone thinks Blizzard is going to say anything. I don't think we get a single word out of Blizzard on this. And if we do, like China is just going to be there, like, all right, well, we're just going to burn this money over here. Sorry. Like, so, I don't know, man.
A lot of people were on Twitter and they were saying things like, oh man, we're the Blizzard CEOs. Like, how have they not said anything? This is ridiculous. And it's like, I don't know if you should expect them to say anything over it. They're probably staying as far away from this as possible and hoping that every single day that goes by, it's going to be less and less of an issue. It's going to be a lot harder when their community makes May the Hong Kong promotional icon, of course. But we'll see how that goes.
Like, what are they going to do? Do you think people that go to BlizzCon are all just going to wear like Winnie the Pooh merchandise, and they're just going to like not allow that, or like because Winnie the Pooh, the whole thing with Winnie the Pooh is they call President Xi like that he looks like Winnie the Pooh, and this was like a huge thing. So like, what are they going to do? Ban Winnie the Pooh merchandise from BlizzCon? Because they could easily do that. It's a very easily bannable merch.
What's going to happen when a cosplayer shows up as May with the Hong Kong skin?
Right. That's another person that they're kind of adopting. Are
they going to just say, no, you're not allowed in here because of your political beliefs? Like,
man.
Oh, man. Dude, this BlizzCon is good. This might be the first BlizzCon I watch.
Oh, man.
Just to see, like, oh my God, it's gonna be a reality TV show.
Yeah. I mean, if we were like months away from BlizzCon, I would think that most of it would be able to just blow over. But 3 weeks, like that's. And
there are people, by the way, that are specifically saying on like the major Blizzard Overwatch Reddits, their goal is to keep this issue active.
Oh,
like they're saying that they're going to be doing like daily posts, like podcasts. Like their entire goal is to not let this die. So, when your fan base does stuff like that's your sign.
Yeah.
Hey, Hearthstone players, Wizards of the Coast loves you. Come to Magic.
That's the other thing about all this is, like, I've seen a lot of that. I got out there and was saying like, hey, if you're quitting WoW, you should play a game called Final Fantasy, and it's like one of my most liked tweets of the year or some shit. So it's very, a very hot topic right now, a very sociable topic that's shareable.
Companies are also taking this opportunity to try to get some good graces back. I don't know if you guys heard about Tim Sweeney.
I saw that.
One of the Epic Game Store people is basically by being very public. Like, if you're a Fortnite player, you say whatever you want about this. You're not going anywhere. And it's kind of like, yeah, okay, well, I mean, that's good and everything. Doesn't fix your store.
Yeah,
that's good.
By the way, Epic Game Store is owned by China. This is just a bait. We were just out here we're baiting, and you're all banned. Signed, China. Like, fuck, man. It's messed up.
Oh, man.
It's messed up. Well, I guess we'll see what
happens.
Speaking
of the Epic Game Store, before I forget.
Yeah?
Can you please have a shopping cart? Like, please?
Oh, you can only buy one thing at a time? Is that what you're saying?
No shopping cart at the Epic Game Store.
Oh, yeah, I know, right? How about half the normal features that most countries have? Yeah, exactly. But, I gotta say, it's very interesting because a lot of people in chat are pointing this out, and that's a really good point. Tencent owns a huge portion of Epic.
I think you could have just stopped. Tencent owns a huge portion.
Yeah. Tencent owns a huge portion of everything you can see in your current vicinity. or on your computer.
Yeah.
That'd be good Mad Libs.
yeah.
Like you could just put whatever in there.
Yeah. Put anything. It's true. You're right though. Go. Yeah. You're definitely right.
I do wonder though. Do you think Epic is in a position where, like, if Tencent were to pull their funding, they can just be like, okay.
I don't know, man. Like China is the biggest market in the world for some of that stuff.
True.
I don't know. I mean, apparently so. If Tim's out there like saying things, right? So
Yeah, he is like one of the like head mouthpieces for that company. It's going to be interesting to see if anything comes from that.
yeah. I don't know.
Especially because like the GGG stuff, like Tencent owns significantly less of a portion for them, and they're actually proactively like doing some of this stuff. So it's like, why is that so different? Like,
Yeah.
what's going on between that?
I'm not sure. To bring it into the realm of Twitch, I saw a lot of broadcasters that stream Blizzard games, and even like Gathalion was tweeting yesterday, like, thank God that Destiny 2 is no longer on that Blizzard launcher, because yikes. So it's been a rough time streaming all that stuff for sure.
My
Chat's
bad.
been destroyed. What's up?
I for some reason thought that Tencent owned less of a portion of GGG. I was not aware it was 80%.
Oh yeah, they own a
Okay,
I don't.
That
That,
changed
I didn't know
things.
that number was out there, or even what the number was. But yeah,
Wow. Okay,
That's
that's a lot
crazy.
of a company.
yeah.
That's a very hefty portion.
I mean, it's
Oof.
isn't it? It's bleeding over into League of Legends now too, because they're doing their Worlds event. I think they're seeing some of it, and like, I think League of Legends is 100% owned by Tencent, or something like that. So,
Oh.
yeah,
Did you guys read the like out loud the part of the contract that like was cited or whatever?
yeah. Co was mentioning that earlier.
Yeah, it's actually
Yeah.
in the original tweet. Blizzard released a like, here's what happened. This guy was released, et cetera, and I think they actually put the blurb from the contract in that.
It said, yeah, engaging in any act that in Blizzard's sole discretion brings you into public disrepute, offends a portion or group of the public, or otherwise damages Blizzard's image, blah, 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 blah.
It's pretty standard in
like
most contracts.
A portion of the group, like a portion of the public, like
Yeah.
what's
It's
a
Not only is it
portion?
standard though, at Blizzard's discretion.
Oh, it's a general.
means
It's a general. We can
anything
do
they
whatever
want.
the fuck we want.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Whatever we
Yeah.
deem that way.
Yeah, that's
is
legal
then
speak
enforced by
for
that.
we can do whatever
Yeah.
the fuck we want with you.
Yeah.
So don't piss us off, types, or don't piss other people off. That makes us mad, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's a rough situation.
And dude, I mean, it's kind of interesting.
I don't
Like,
know how they get out
not
of
not to get too far away from games and why we're all here, but all we're talking about right now is the reverberations of a massively important event in human history that's transpiring right now.
Right.
Like this Hong Kong stuff going on right now, and what happens because of this is something that's going to be going down in history as like a major, major, major event, and we are watching it unfold in front of us. It's not going anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's wild to see like everything we're just talking about are the shockwaves coming from that event. So it's going to be, however that event progresses, it's going to change the face of many different things.
Yeah. So yeah, that it's been a week. It's Wednesday. People, fuck Christ. I'm sure we'll be talking about some more ramifications of this stuff all the way up until BlizzCon, because it's going to invade anything that they try to do. Any game announcement, any esports.
God, watch them try to drop Diablo Immortal at this BlizzCon.
Yeah. But
Oh my God.
the people behind Diablo Immortal they're Chinese developers, aren't they? I think they are. Something like that. Yeah.
That'd be like the nail in the coffin for them.
Yeah. Yeah, it's NetEase.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
it is. It's a Chinese mobile dev. That's exactly right. Okay.
Ah.
We'll see how that goes. God. It's
I
gonna
like
be
this.
rough.
The BlizzCon keyword this year is going to be spicy.
I just
That's a good
wonder
way
if
to say it.
like I wonder if we'll see an announcement like we're canceling all Q&A sessions. Where there's no mics anywhere near a crowd member for the entire crowd.
Dude, realistically,
Like, fuck.
can you imagine like how many people are probably going to just try to go to BlizzCon to try to recreate or start shit like this other guy did?
Right.
Like, they are going to have infiltrators at TwitchCon specifically looking to draw this stuff up.
Yep.
which means what you said is a real possibility.
Yeah.
That very well could happen.
Yeah. I'm with
Crazy.
you. It might be the most watched BlizzCon ever just to see that shit happen. It's gonna be crazy.
Think they'll cancel BlizzCon? Oh, did I say? I'm sorry. Did I say TwitchCon? I meant BlizzCon.
Sorry.
Thankfully, TwitchCon is okay now.
Yeah, for now. China doesn't own. Does China have any money in Amazon, or is that 100% U.S. born and bred? I'm sure there's Chinese money somewhere in that. It's a giant brand.
I will say though, Amazon is one of the biggest companies in the world. So thankfully, I would hope that no company could I'm hopefully they wouldn't be beholden to another company.
Right.
In the ways that many of our developers and such currently are now. So
yeah,
we'll see.
Yeah.
I mean, anyway.
Yeah.
That's another discussion for another show.
Right. Let's talk games for a while. Because we got about an hour and 10 minutes till Kit Boga joins us. Zeke, let's start with you.
Okay.
What have you been playing? Where do you want to start? You tell me. I can kind of pull up your past videos here and jump around. It's all magic. Magic is magic still. It's still magical. Still a lot of magic happening.
We don't really need to talk about it other than that the new set is a lot of fun.
Okay.
It's got a lot of cool new mechanics, and I like the theme of it. The whole theme of the new expansion of the magic or the new magic expansion is stories like old fables and stuff like Cinderella and Hansel and Gretel and like there's a glass slipper is like an artifact in the new set, and like
cool.
There's a card called A Curious Pair, and it shows like Hansel and Gretel like peeking in a window and stuff like that. There's like, you know, witch's cottage, like all of it is all like fairy tale based, and it's actually kind of cool. When you look at a card, you're like, oh, I wonder what fairy tale that is. Oh, I remember it, and I got shit. And that part of it is really cool. The art always like Magic might like after having watched Eye of the Beholder, the Art of Dungeons and Dragons, which you should watch if you have Amazon Prime Video, and you like D&D. It's really cool. It's a walk down memory lane. But the reason why I bring that up is because Magic is like, I don't know if they're like majority of responsible for keeping like awesome fantasy artwork alive. Like they have a huge part to play in that though. Like it's awesome. Like I love looking at every new Magic expansion, just for the artwork. It's outstanding stuff.
Yeah.
But the Magic expansion is a lot of fun. It has cool new mechanics. I will say that I don't like the drafting direction that I saw it was going. Like drafting means you get a certain amount of cards and you pick and you make a deck. So like they're all new cards to you. So like a pack, like you get 3 packs and you take one from a pack and pass it on, one from a pack, pass it on, and they get the packs like deplete as they go on, right? So you're trying to create the best deck you can from that. And it's really like there's a lot of I'll just say stall decks, meaning the games last a long time. For those of you who know what a mill deck is, it means you deplete the other person's deck of cards, and that's how you win. That's a win condition.
Yeah.
So you come up against something like that, like a stall deck or a mill deck, and you're just like, oh man, these games fucking take forever a lot of times. So like the draft is not as fun. It's not as quick as like past sets have been, but it's still okay. But I'm sticking with the just the core set draft. That's a lot of fun still.
Yeah.
So if you are, I used to play Magic back in the day, and I remember those like epic long games when you'd have like just a giant row of creatures, and they would too. You're saying that if a player runs out of cards, then it doesn't matter what's on the board or how well you're doing, you lose.
That's a win condition. If a player goes to draw a card from their deck and there is no card to draw, they lose. Yeah.
That might be worse than blue players.
I didn't remember
if
that.
You play mill players.
That's how you do it.
Yeah.
You counter their spells. You build up your walls and your defenses so they can't like kill you before this happens. and then you
Oh,
just
they're the same
mill,
color.
mill, mill.
You motherfuckers! Of course they would make that worse. Fucking
Yeah.
blue players, man.
It's pretty terrible. It's pretty terrible. But you get a good one, like like the thing is, I built a mill deck because it was like the best cards I was getting were all geared towards that, and I didn't feel good winning like that. I just don't feel good winning like that. It feels like a war of attrition rather than like a battle.
Right.
You know, it's like I'm gonna starve you out. This is fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's magic.
Wow.
But some people like a slow death rather than like a quick blade. You know.
Right.
I get it.
Yeah. To each their own.
Yeah, it's weird because I used to play a lot of Magic. I even played a little bit competitively, and back in the day, I don't remember anyone running out of cards. Maybe like because I only played, I played around the time of just the first expansion or two, like Iniquities or whatever it was called. So maybe like at that time there just weren't enough cards that would do that. But like
Might have not been
yeah,
viable.
that's weird. I don't think I ever won or remember being beat by cards not getting drawn. Strange.
Huh.
Well, the set has to be like geared around it because as time moves on, the standard
Meta.
standard is what it's called, right?
Yeah.
I think it's what it's called still. Sets are pushed out and new sets are brought in. So like they just pushed out like 3 expansions, like Ixalan or whatever it's called, and like 2 other ones. So you can't use those cards anymore. And now these 3 other expansions are the ones you have to use if you're going to play the standard. So like you have to play according to the cards you're that are available.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I saw you tweeting about this game because I think you started playing it with the sponsored stream, but you kept playing it afterwards, and we haven't talked about it yet. Warsaw.
Oh yeah.
What is
Warsaw.
this game? What's this game about?
Yeah, I want to talk to you about
Warsaw.
this.
Yeah. Now Warsaw is you might notice, oh, that looks like Darkest Dungeon. Well, yes, it does. It is heavily inspired mechanically by Darkest Dungeon. It works a lot like it. It's turn-based. It has a lot of the same kind of animations and stuff. So that's on purpose. That is not like, oh, they ripped it. Like, no, it's not a rip-off per se. Like, if like maybe it is still a rip-off, but if you just come right out and say like, oh yeah, this is totally Darkest Dungeon, but we just like wanted to put our own stuff around it.
Nothing wrong
Like
with that.
I think that's better. Yeah. But it takes place in World War II Poland during the uprising, which I was only maybe I've heard that like term once or twice throughout my entire like schooling or whatever. So it's about like Nazi occupied Poland, and you are Polish soldiers, citizens, and whoever they could gather together are having like revolting. They're uprising against the German oppressors.
Right.
But it's some of the stories like that they lay out are pretty fucking brutal. Like they tell like real stories from the war, or like not with actual names, but like you go through these situations where like you see someone's body underneath a pile of rubble, and you're like, they give you a choice. Like, do you dig him out or do you like move on or whatever? You try and dig him out. And you're like, okay, you spent all this time digging him out only to see that he's already dead underneath there. And you're just like, oh man,
That's fucked. That's brutal.
it's
Yeah.
brutal. But like, I love that. I love like how they make no bones about like, this is war and you're, murdering people and people die and stuff like that. So that's part of it. Like the whole feeling of it is a lot more real and a lot more I
Grounded
don't want to
in
say
reality.
sad, but it's
okay.
yeah, it's a feeling of
Is it
of,
more
of-
impactful because it's realistic?
the story in the story of the game is far more impactful than Darkest Dungeon, just because this actually happened. This shit is real. Darkest Dungeon is fun. The story is fun, but it's not like it doesn't like hit you in the gut like this one does from time to time. But I will say like the mechanics like are pretty similar. They have they shoot guns rather than cast spells. There's different like classes and stuff. Support, heavy, DPS, healing, like that kind of stuff. There's different classes within the game. They have a row system as well as a place in line system. So picture Darkest Dungeon, but with 2 rows. So you could put like your people in front, like first position up top, second position down, third position up, fourth position down, or whatever. You can put them like that. I've 4 players max, or 4 characters max. But you can mix and match and stuff like that. But they come back from these things like injured, so you have to like leave them in the nurse's care and they take so many days to heal up, like that. And then you have to start bringing out like recruits, and the recruits are just like civilians with guns. Like they don't have like, you can't equip them with machine guns or mortars or anything like that. So they have like a pistol and 1 ability.
Oh God. So it's rough.
And it can be difficult. It had mixed reviews when it came out because there was some difficulty issues, maybe some bugs or something. Because when I first went to get it, I looked at the reviews and I was like, mixed. Oh man, I really hope it's not bad.
There were
maybe. Go ahead.
I read the reviews on the first day because I was very interested. I was getting like first asked to play it, and then people told me no, it looked terrible. I watched a streamer play it, and was doing a sponsor stream for it, and even by the end of it, he was like, "Yeah, this is like if you like Darkest Dungeon, you'll like this. If you don't, like it's basically just Darkest Dungeon." So like I got kind of a negative review of it, kind of overall. Also, the reviews said it was super unbalanced. Like there were situations where there was clearly no way to win in a situation. Did you run into a lot of that?
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay.
I did, like, I quit playing it when I did because I personally made a stupid mistake and I misclicked on something and it caused like 2 character deaths. But that was my fault because I clicked something and then it was actually, it took 2 clicks for me to fuck it up. So it was like, click on that and then click on that. And I went, wait, no, I didn't mean to do that. Oh God. And then, I mean, it was my fault. I don't blame the game at all for that, but it definitely like fucked my entire team. However, up till that point, the difficulty was completely manageable. I felt like I was getting the hang of it. I wasn't really scared to like get into a fight. You can leave at any time you want. Like you can retreat back to the base. You will fail the mission, and like the area that you are doing the mission in, because it's set up in different like counties of
Regions.
Yeah, different regions of Poland. And if you fail a mission there, their like morale goes down, and if it ever reaches 0, you lose that area. Basically, I lost 1 area while I was playing because I wasn't able to keep their morale up enough or whatever. And there was another mechanic in it that I kind of glossed over, but I didn't know how it was important, is that you bring back supplies from a mission and you use those supplies to do excursions, is what they call them. But it's just you spend money to like boost their morale, or you spend supplies to boost their morale. It's kind of like a management. Like when you come back from a mission, make sure to check all these excursions, and you just click and make sure that you have enough supplies to keep them all happy and stuff. So,
Cool.
I had a blast. It was a fun game. Yes, that is the case. If you like Darkest Dungeon, you'll probably like this. Just
Sure.
like with Eratus last time when I played that, it's like, if you like Darkest Dungeon, you'll probably like Eratus.
Yeah.
But this one's a little more real, a little more dark, because this shit is based on history.
So
Makes sense.
Yeah.
I know you played this past your sponsored stream. Did you? And you may have said this. Sorry if I missed this. Did you end up beating it?
No, I didn't.
Are you going to beat it?
I might come back to it someday, but that was that stupid mistake that I made. Like that was, I don't know if it was a game ender, but it really like sapped the energy from wanting to play it like immediately again, because not only because it killed off 2 of my like guys that I'd spent time like upgrading and promoting and stuff, but also like I hate feeling stupid. Like it's like the worst feeling in the world is when you do something dumb and it like just takes the air out of your fucking balloon, and you're just like, man, I don't want to do that no more.
See,
I have been there many.
the fix to that, Zeke, is you just build up such an ego that you turn that feeling of sadness into anger where you're never actually wrong. You know what I'm saying? You just tell people that you're
Right.
always right. And then you just never have that feeling.
Well, but then if I did that, then I would be like railing against the game devs and be like, this should not be like, yeah, sure, I clicked twice, but there should be a safeguard
Look,
that wouldn't allow you to do that.
I'm
Where's
just
my
saying.
confirmation window?
Zeke,
Yeah.
once again, I'm just saying. Everyone's saying fuck Hearthstone as of yesterday. I said that 2 years ago at a TwitchCon stage during a drop frame. So, you know, I just was ahead of times. I'm hipstering all this Blizzard. So,
Dude.
yeah.
So Blizzard, if you're wondering who to call about all this,
Oh, no, they haven't
Yeah.
called in years. They haven't called in years. Trust me. They have not.
Yeah.
They have not reached out since then. 100%.
I'm so,
So-
I forgot your soy latte and your man bun are in the mail.
Exactly.
You're
Thank
gonna be
you.
getting those
I
soon.
appreciate that. Yeah, I need some new ones. Exactly. Thank you so much.
wow.
Oh god. I saw you also did a sponsored stream for Conqueror's Blade. Do you want to talk about that, or should we just move on? Because
We could talk about
I
it.
have no idea what this game is, so I don't know what I'm getting into.
No, Conqueror's Blade was like I had never played it before the sponsor gig, and it was actually fucking fun. I was expecting it to be like a little more janky, like as far as the combat and stuff goes. I honestly was like, kind of from looking at it, I was like, this might be a little jank and that kind of stuff. But once you get past the tutorial, and the tutorial is actually really well laid out. And I was telling Ko before the show started today, it's like, you know, there's some stuff I like after last week about talking with Emmett and having people in chat be like, this guy sounds like a shield and stuff. Like, I'm really like wary about liking shit that I get paid for, you know, like
Yeah.
how
I
much
get it.
can I like it? Can I like it? Is it okay if I like this? Like,
See what
I
you,
got paid for it, sure,
Zeke,
but it,
let
like,
me-
can I
once
think
again,
nice
I'll-
things about it.
I'll give you the lesson, Zeke. If you hate everything, you never get that.
Right.
I've
point.
never. This is not a discussion around me ever. So,
Yeah.
But it's because I hate everything. You know.
Yeah, okay, you Final Fantasy sellout.
Hey, everyone
Yeah,
gets
right.
one. Co. Everyone gets one.
True, everyone gets
Okay.
one. Everyone gets one.
But anyways, Conqueror's Blade, not Mount and Blade, by the way. I made that mistake once. Like, so Mountain Blade, Conqueror's Blade.
Ew.
Thank you. Well, they gotta know it's gonna happen.
Yikes.
Like,
They
it's
won't
just
be calling again.
It was a good run with Twitch, JP.
shut up. But Conqueror's Blade,
Hey.
I think it's been out for a while, right?
I don't know.
Pretty sure.
It's still not as bad as Jericho.
Yeah, I want to get Jericho on to talk about that whole fiasco thing. Yeah. Anyways, we might mention
it
that
hasn't-
later on.
Oh, I guess it's only been out since May 30. Maybe it's been in early access or something. But first of all, let me just say this game is free to play if you want to play it.
Okay.
I played like the entire sponsored portion of the stream. Like I didn't pay any money for it. And they didn't give me like a founder's pack or anything, and I had a lot of fun. But the tutorial's laid out very well. It's piece by piece by piece by piece. So it's like, here's combat, like hand-to-hand combat. Here you go. Here's all the weapons you can try. Try them out now. And I did. I tried like 5 or 6 weapons. Did a little like, okay, this one feels the best. Okay. And then it was like, okay, this is how you command troops. But there's lots of ways you can command troops. So let's do this one first. Okay, got that one? Good. Moving on. This is how you do this troop command. Okay, this is how you do this and this. And it was like very piecemeal, which that's how I learn best is like, give me one thing, make sure I got it, and then move on to the next thing. Don't give me it all at once, which they don't. So getting through the tutorial was great. I learned the basics, which was nice. But the real fun comes from the PvP. And I don't normally like PvP.
Wait, what? Hold on. Say that again. I have to wrap my head around what Zeke just said.
I know.
Out of Zeke's mouth. The
This is an
real
MMO,
fun
but-
comes from
Yeah.
the PvP.
Yeah. It's a cap like the ones that the one that
How
I
much
like
did they
the most-
pay you to say that? Zeke? I'm joking. Go ahead.
I'm contractually obligated not to tell you.
Please continue.
yeah,
So
it's-
now I'm curious about what the fuck this game is. Go ahead.
Like the description of it is a free-to-play tactical action MMO is what they say on their Steam blurb. But the most fun I had was doing 5v5 PvP stuff. But it's not just you. You bring the troops that you have either acquired, upgraded. Like if the first time I went into PvP, I had two groups to pick from. I had archers and I had melee guys, sword and board guys, like serfs, I think is what they were called. I had two to pick from. And then by the time the cast ended, I had like 5 groups to pick from. Granted, some of them most of them were kind of shit. But like you could pick from like pikemen, serfs, archers, farmers, like with fucking pitchforks and shit. Those guys suck. Don't pick those. But that's what you do. You can control yourself, or you can do like your own sword swinging and that kind of stuff. But at the same time, you're controlling like not a battalion, like just a troop,
squadron. Yeah,
a squad of like 20, I think, maybe something like around there. And you tell them what to do, and you can behave like a general and not really get in there and start swinging with them, or you can like get in there with your fucking team and try and help them along and stuff like that. Lots of different options, and the combat feels good, and it feels like skill and upgrades in the game, like once you're gaining experience and upgrading your armor and weapons and stuff, that really makes a difference in these kind of battles. They do balance the players when they get into these battles.
Yeah.
But more options are always better, so you can pick like the best options for a specific map or whatever.
Right.
So JP,
but it was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun.
To put it in terms that I think you could probably like directly relate to.
Hit me.
This game is kind of like if you were to take For Honor and mix it with an RPG, like an MMORPG, and instead of the soldiers being just like LOL style creeps, each player like has control of them. And you like go around and take points, and when you do the combat, it's much more kind of like fast-paced action MMO-y.
I got like Dynasty Warriors.
For Honor, tit for tat kind of thing, but
yeah, I was getting like a Dynasty Warriors type vibe from it.
A lot of people were saying that for sure.
Yeah. Huh. Okay.
Yeah. But let me just reiterate, my favorite thing about this is it's free. You can play it right now.
Okay.
Zeke, real quick, because this is kind of important with games like this. Did you get any details on the pay to progress / what you can buy in the game?
Yeah. What if it's free? What can you buy?
Because honestly, like I was offered a thing for this, but when I started pinging my community on it, a lot of people told me that like it's just pay to win. But then some other people said that was patched to be a lot less so. So I was not really sure like where it stands. Do you have any idea?
I'm not sure, and I'm sorry I don't have an answer for you, because that is not something I immediately think about when I do like a free to play game. Like I didn't think about that when I started Warframe or PoE or Conqueror's Blade. After like I started thinking about it after playing like 100 hours of Warframe. I'm like,
right, you start to understand the game.
I want to buy some stuff.
Yeah.
And that kind of shit. And I understood that. But like after like I only played this for 3 hours, so I didn't really go in depth on as far as the pay to win stuff. But I was in battles, like I had viewers that had the game, that downloaded the game, come play with me. So I had like 5 or 4 other viewers plus myself on a side, and they had, pickup or just, whoever, randos on the other side. And it didn't feel like unbalanced. Like, I don't know if they just weren't paying to win, but it felt like the people who had played before were doing better than the ones who hadn't played as much.
Yeah.
Like, I was getting my ass kicked a lot. And then by the 4th battle, I was like, I got a few kills. Okay, cool.
Okay. People in chat were saying it was pay to skin, or that it is pay to skin, and it's pay to progress in the sense that you can progress faster. Okay. So not necessarily pay to win, but
yeah, arguably Warframe is pay to progress.
Yeah,
so that doesn't really mean a bad thing.
Yeah,
that's cool.
So,
Zeke, do you ever see yourself going back to it? Was it fun enough to revisit, or it was the kind of thing where it's like it's a good game but not really in your wheelhouse kind of thing?
I think this would be a fun game if I had like a group of friends to play with.
Sure.
Like I wouldn't want to play this on my own because you can do like the MMO aspect of it. You can do like the solo adventures and stuff like that, and you can like while you're waiting to get into a battle or whatever, you can go around the town and upgrade your stuff. And like I said, there's a lot of time wasting or time usage stuff that you can do in the game. But it was drastically more fun to play the game with like viewers. So that would be the way. If I was going to play it again, it would have to be like with people for sure.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
Very cool.
I'll use this time to talk about Destiny, I guess. I actually can speak about Destiny now as if I understand what's going on.
Wait,
depth.
hold on. I want you to say how many hours you have in it, so people in chat can go.
That's nothing.
Or whatever. Yeah, I said 300 hours in Warframe, and people are like, "I've got like 6K."
Yeah, that happens everywhere. Yeah, since the 1st of October, I've put 96 hours into the game. So I've been playing
over 10 hours a day.
Yeah, I've been playing a lot of Destiny. It got its hooks in me real good. So
Okay.
Have
you done anything else?
No. I've rarely
You've done
even
that
seen
with
my
PoE,
fiance.
right?
Not in a while. This is like PoE addiction at the beginning levels of addiction.
I like that in chat. Yeah, it's great. No, I put in 6K hours since October 1st. Oh.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
Is that? Oh, so the doctor is in chat from Doctor Who is in chat.
Doctor Who is, yeah, exactly. So yeah, man, Destiny's a weird game, man. I still stand by that. I enjoyed everything that I did. I have a really hard time saying that people should grab it. I think I will say people should grab it because it's free to get into it, but you still have to pay to get into it. And it's because the new user experience is bad. Like, you jump into that game, and after maybe 4 hours of fiddling with the like console UI on a PC platform, you'll start to understand stuff. But the new light thing that they put in, it's just bad. Like, there's no giant like quest thing that says go here. You basically open up the bounties, and that's where like every directive that you can get in the entire game is all like mashed into one thing. And so you have to kind of like find what is the main quest. And it's not well done. They really need to like take a look at the UI to direct play. Like, I've had so many people jump in the stream and say like, "Hey, I just downloaded Destiny and I got out of the intro quest. What do I do?" And I'm like, "What do you mean? There's no like you do the main quest. Like you basically can do whatever you want." I would suggest the main quest of Destiny 2 if you've never done that. The Red War, I think is what it's called. They're like, "Where is that?" I go, "What do you mean? It's not on the..." No. Oh. And so I think what you have to do is like go down to the planet itself and select the starting quest. There's nothing saying like, "Hey, click on this quest." I think, apparently you have to talk to Amanda Holiday. Okay, good. I'll start telling people that. Yeah, people had to look up where to start the Red War at. Like, had to go and find a YouTube video to tell them where to start the main game at. And this is the new thing that they put in for new players. So the thing with that is everyone that has done that and is stuck with the game past like 4 or 5 hours, they've all said that they're having a fantastic time with it. But those first like couple of, like the first hour with it, and even when I jumped in prior to Shadowkeep at the end of Forsaken, like the final week of Forsaken, jumping back into that game is just like, you're thrown so many different things of just like, I have so many options and I have no idea what any of them mean. And they're just giant things on a map that's like, you can go do a forge. The fuck's a forge? I don't know what that is. Why would I want to do the forge?
Why would I want to do it?
Why would I want to do that? Yeah. So once you get past all of that and you actually get into like the nuts and bolts of what Destiny is and like what the minute to minute gunplay is fantastic. The quests are really fun and interesting once you understand how to manipulate the quest and understand like what those gameplay loops are. But it takes a while to get to that point, and it's definitely something that I think they have to work on moving forward. And I don't think they will. I don't think they ever will. But Destiny 2 is a console game on the PC, and that UI does not work for the PC at all. Like, to open up the quest log, and I think you can bind a key to open up directly, but for me, for the default player, you press M to open up your destinations, and then you press A to scroll over two things to open up your bounties tab. And now bounties has been split into bounties on one side and quest on the left side, but every quest is jumbled in together. There's only sorting by new and quality, so like exotic quest and legendary quest. And on the right is just every bounty. And unless you know like the symbols that you're looking at, it's just a giant box of squares. And some are similar and some are not. And once you learn what each symbol means, then you understand, oh, I've got 4 Vanguard bounties that I need to go do strikes for. I've got 2 Vex offensive bounties that I need to go do the Vex offensive for. But if not, you're like, I've got 4 blue ones and 2 green ones. I guess I'll sit here and read over the text for an extended amount of time to understand what the fuck any of this means. So it's rough in that regard. And they need to do better about it. And hopefully it will.
Part of the plan? They like talked about that at all publicly?
I'm not sure. I don't know what they might have. They have talked a lot in the past month about kind of what their plans are. But I've not been reading too much of it. And yeah, the other thing with the quest is someone's pointing out in chat, you can only select 3 at a time. And we're talking like, I think 63 is the max number of quests/bounties you can have at one time. And I've hit that number multiple times throughout. In fact, almost every single day you can track 3. Yeah, not select. You can track 3. That's what I mean.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, not so
you can collect all the quests up to 63, and then 3 of them will be like marked on your whatever.
Yeah, when you hit tab, that's when they'll come up on the right hand side in the ghost thing.
That's like the same thing I say about Borderlands. Like, you're a quest-based game. Why isn't this developed? Like, this should be a priority.
And again, I think their answer. Yeah,
I have stuff to say about that later, Co.
I think their answer is that it's a console game. Like, if you throw so much stuff on a UI, it's going to look really messy on a TV. But yeah, apart from that, I've now understood the nuts and bolts of Destiny. I understand like grinding for certain weapons. I understand weapon mods that are good. We did the raid, or we did the first first 3 bosses of the raid and wiped at the last boss at 20% before reset. So I think
how long does it take to get to that point, by the way? Beginning to end. Like how long is the raid in total?
Oh, I think you can, if you know what you're doing, like it depends. If you know what you're doing, you can do it in under probably an hour 30. Oh, wow. There was already a group, I think like 2 days ago that 3-manned the raid. It's a 6-man raid and they used 3 people and beat it. So once you understand the fights and can like have the appropriate light level, you can definitely like do things that you shouldn't be able to in that sense.
What's max light?
Right now it's 950 for the soft cap, 960 for the pinnacle cap, and then it kind of builds over time. Like you get a passive positive light bonus now that is based on experience. So like my light level I think is 941 right now, but I have a +9 light level, so it's really 950. Or sorry, yeah, 950. Which it's another system that none of this is. I think it's briefly explained in certain quests. If you don't do those quests, everything that I just said is like not necessarily explained in the best way. It's very much a game that the community and the content creators like save it in that sense. Because
how does your light level go up? I forget, like because they've changed it so much.
Right.
Oh, gear.
Like your light level goes up. Is it just from like battling, or is it from getting different weapons?
It's from getting
gear. An armor.
Yeah.
Gear. All your gear has light level, and they total up to make your
So the progression everyone starts at 750. If you have a brand new account, you download it right now on Steam for free. You start at 750. The soft cap is 900. The only way to progress past 900 is to get powerful rewards. Those drop up to 950.
Apparently, people are saying that one of the best ways to do that is grinding PvP.
Yeah. Well, the best way to do that is to play 3 characters. The best way is to know what you're. So, say if I'm a Warlock main, I would start with Hunter, grind all the powerful rewards for that week, take my weapons from that Hunter, put them on a Titan, do all the powerful rewards for that week, take the weapons from that Titan, put it on a Warlock, do all the powerful rewards for that week, and then you have like the highest quality light. That's what everyone does the first week. You don't have to do that. I've only played one character, but like Zeke said, I think Coach just said that I grinded PvP for I think 18 hours straight, and so on one character, however long it's been, I'm at 950 right now, 941 I guess without the light bonus, because every PvP rank up you get a powerful reward. That said, we could talk about the PvP experience.
And are those the powerful rewards are all random, right? So you can have like a huge jump with just one item.
It drops at a +3 to your light.
Oh, okay.
So if you have not, I think it's
You have
+3.
to do all the different slots as well.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. So if you have 930, I think it drops at 933.
So
okay.
Yeah.
So
Before we
every
jump into
time you
PvP,
rank up in PvP, you get a powerful reward. Your light goes up by 3, or no?
No, one item will drop at +3. Your overall light will probably go up by like 0.6 or 0.7.
I see. So you have to have them all at the level to
It's
get.
cumulative.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Yep, got you.
But you don't have to.
So if you never get a boots drop, or you fucked or whatever.
It's not that bad because blue light level starts to scale. So you'll get a blue item at -1 light level, which will bring everything up, and then you can infuse that item onto like a purple, and then your purple item is now the same light level as a blue. See, this is what I'm talking. This system is like very fucking complicated. It makes no sense to people that have never played the game, and they need to do a better job of like explaining that, because this is the only reason I understand all this shit is because I've played so much of it. It's just a really odd system.
Would this be a way to explain it? Like, you can take your low level items and smash them together to make a better item.
Sure.
To catch up with your light level. Okay.
Sure. As long as you have a high light level item.
Okay. There you go.
So you have put over 10 hours a day in for over a week.
Yeah.
You have almost beaten the raid.
Yeah.
What are your goals now, and how much further are you going to take it? Or are you done?
So the other thing that's crazy about Destiny is how much there is to do. There's almost too much to do. There's so much to do that it becomes like a burden on the game itself because of how many things you can do at a certain time that you log in and you're just like, all right, let's focus on 2 things today. That's because I hadn't played since Destiny launch. People that are like playing every single day or every week for the past couple of years, they don't have as much to do as someone that just started. But if you just started, like, there's a billion fucking exotic quests that all have like cool rewards. There's a billion raids that you can go do. I think there's 8 raids that I've never seen that I want to check out. Granted, they're not going to be as difficult as the new raid, but it's still interesting content that I want to see.
Are they going to give you anything you could use?
Yes, they'll give you specific raid drops from that raid that might be good. Because of the fact that there's the infuse system, you can get a raid-specific drop that has a good roll on that gun and then bring it up to your current light level. There's also raid-specific exotics that are very, very strong. Like there's one at the end of a raid called The Last Wish called 1K Voices that has a chance to drop from the final boss. And so I definitely want to like farm that because it's a super nice heavy item. But yeah, there's like actually too much to do, and it's overwhelming with how much there is, which is why I've been putting like every single day I'll log out and think like, all right, tomorrow I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. I'll log in the next day and something twinkling will be off in the fucking side of the moon. And, shit, I should probably do that faster, right? And so I'll put everything off and go do that random thing. And then yesterday, since Tuesdays are resets days, all the powerful rewards reset. So then that became my focus, is to get all those done before the raid that we're doing on Thursday. So
Damn.
there's so much to do. And that was like the biggest problem with base Destiny, with vanilla Destiny for me, is that you beat the quest and then you're just kind of like, all right, well, I guess I'm done. Like, I don't have anything to do. There's nothing to grind. And now there's too much to grind. And basically play catch up with is really what it is. So I'm enjoying it.
Sounds kind of nice.
It is kind of nice. I was playing offline last night for 3 hours, and I just like lost myself in Destiny. And I've done that every day since last Tuesday. It's been I lost myself so much in Destiny that we did a show on Saturday that I forgot was happening until I woke up Saturday morning and someone messaged me, "Hey, did you do that thing for the show later today?" And I said no. So it's like making me forget my own shows that I do on my own channel. Which is, yeah, it's bad, but it's been fun. And also raiding with other streamers, like, has been some of the most fun I've had on like multiplayer streams in a very, very long time. Doing this stuff with 5 other people is super fun. And it's the type of thing where it's like, we equated it to raiding in WoW. When you raid in WoW, I feel like it's demoralizing and like soul crushing, and it takes so long to get back into an encounter. In Destiny, you wipe, you click a raid banner, and you're good to go. And it's 6 people, so it's not like overwhelming and like overbearing. But when we beat an encounter, it feels fucking good. And it feels really good. So
that is definitely like I will completely agree with that statement. Like, Destiny was the most fun, like, multiplayer game that I've probably still played to this day.
Yeah.
With more than like one other person, you know.
Yeah.
If you have a group of 6 people, and it's because it's so frantic. Like, all of the energy of Destiny is always moving forward, and it's always moving around.
Yeah.
Like with WoW, it was
kind
like
of standing there. Yeah. It's
like with Destiny, I'm like fucking like way up, like you know, just my brain is like all the synapses are firing.
yeah.
Whereas like WoW is like a computer program. Like you start at like the 10 line. It's like, do this, go to 10. Yeah.
I agree.
Also, guns.
Yeah, guns. It's fun to shoot guns in Destiny, man. They're fucking great. They're a lot of fun. I want to kind of show off a little bit of the raid just in terms of the look of it, so I'm going to skip to the next VOD. I'll briefly talk about PvP because I don't need to show PvP because we don't need to get into that.
Is it a salt mine?
It's the top of Salt Mountain. It's Salt Everest is where I was located this past week. It was, man, what a motherfucker.
It is an entire binary star system of just salt planets.
Yes. Fuck. The reason that PvP is like so rage inducing is it's not just aim. Like, I equate it, it's not just like you're playing Halo. It's Halo if everyone was a member of the Avengers. Because everyone's got fucking crazy superpowers, and at any time they can just like wipe a team because they pressed a button on their key, they used their super, which is fine, but when you're like trying super hard and ain't like thinking you're an aim god, and then someone comes around the corner with a sword in their hands and is on fire and throws that sword a mile away from you and hits you with it, and you die in one hit because you're within a mile of it. It's one of the most rage-inducing things. And yeah, people are being quick to remind me that competitive is not normal PvP. But that stuff's even like tenfold in normal PvP because the heavy ammo spawns so much more frequently that like every motherfucker has a rocket launcher. So it was a harrowing adventure of 17 hours of grinding for like quote unquote the best primary gun in Destiny 2 from PvP called the Recluse. But yeah, apparently they patched some stuff for heavy ammo yesterday, so apparently that's not as bad. But if you watch some of those VODs, it was, you know, me at 4 a.m. just salty as just destroying some poor guy who's doing his best in PvP, and I'm just sitting there on stream just like fucking ripping into him. So it was fun, but I'm glad I don't have to do that grind anymore. to the grind to get the best the SMG that I'm using right here. Oh, I'm not showing it. That I'm using.
Yeah.
Right
You're not
here.
showing
Sorry.
anything, buddy.
Yeah, sorry.
There we go.
I thought it was. This is the Recluse SMG, which is like one of the best PvE items that's gained from PvP. Unfortunately, so yeah.
When we're done with this, we have some very unfortunate news that just broke to talk about.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I don't really have anything else about Destiny, so I'm gonna keep playing it. We're playing off the stream today, and we got to finish the raid. So, what's going on?
If you look at the Twitter, it's basically some stuff about how they completely are not okay with violence and all things. Apparently, there was a synagogue that just got live streamed being attacked in the CS:GO section of Twitch.
Jeez. Okay.
Yeah. So this is a show about stuff that happens on Twitch, which is the only reason I'm bringing it up. But Twitch immediately took it down, and they put up posts immediately saying how it's not okay, and they will take the stuff off the service as fast as possible. But
These are the
two
Twitch.
Apparently, it happened a few hours ago.
These are the two Twitch posts. We are
yeah,
shocked
I
and
didn't hear
saddened by.
Go ahead.
We are shocked and saddened by the tragedy that took place in Germany today, and our deepest condolences go out to all those affected. And the second post is Twitch has a zero tolerance policy against hateful conduct, and any act of violence is taken extremely seriously. We worked with urgency to remove this content and will permanently suspend any accounts found to be posting or reposting content of this abhorrent act. Yeah, I just
Yeah. I mean, this was 6 minutes ago when the tweet came out, so.
Yeah.
I would assume this had happened a couple hours ago, but yeah, that's awful.
And I think honestly, to not like that was the news that's happened. I think at that point it's important not to talk any more about it, not to glorify it, and just it's a terrible thing. The people who do that kind of things are absolute shit. They're miserable, terrible people, and that's that.
Yeah, it seems fairly black and white with that. Jeez. Yeah, that's awful. Okay. I don't really have anything else.
I'm sorry about that. I didn't mean to
No. I'm glad we brought it up.
I'm
glad we brought it up. I did not see any of that. Well, I guess we'll continue talking about games after that. Jeez. Co, what have you been playing? Where should we go from here? I'll let you jump into whatever.
I have been playing Blasphemous. I actually played and beat Blasphemous. That was a ride. I started a game called Bloodstained this morning.
Wait a minute. You're just gonna gloss over Blasphemous and not talk about how fucking mad and rage-inducing it is? Are we not gonna say anything about this?
Okay, Blasphemous.
Did you just breeze right through it like it was nothing?
No. Okay, first of all, look at the top right. Look at the top or the right center of the screen on that. That's my death count. So that should tell you exactly how my playthrough of Blasphemous was going. Blasphemous is a pixel art 2D Metroidvania that is exceptionally difficult. This game has one-shots everywhere, really tough mobs. There are definitely wombos in this game where if you get hit by one attack, you will be hit by the other attacks coming after it. There are unparryable attacks that get strung in combos with attacks that you can't parry, or parryable attacks that get strung into combos with unparryable attacks. It is a brutal game. That being said, I had a great time with it. Go ahead.
123 is your death count. Not the 33,000 is the money, guys. Yeah. Just no people. I was looking at that too. I was like, that's Boshi numbers.
It's a really hard game, guys. It's really tough.
Yeah, 123 is the death count.
Yeah. Okay.
No, but
fair,
it was
fair.
Cool. I did end up getting all the main health upgrades, all the magic upgrades, got max amount of health files. I almost 100%. There were a few things I didn't 100%. I didn't do all the shrines to get the true ending. I didn't get all the little bone connections. There was a quest or two I messed up because the game it's very Dark Soulsy, where it's very easy to mess up quests. If you do things out of order and they don't really tell you in what order to do them in, so it just kind of happens. But overall, I have to say, if you like very challenging, brutal Metroidvania experiences, this is a great game for that. There's a lot of variability in terms of what relics and items you equip on you. There's a lot of variability in how you play based on that kind of different stuff. There's different builds you can do that are built around specific items. Like it was a really good experience. There were more than a couple sections that are incredibly rage inducing because they'll put a lot of one hit kill, or as Zeke has described in previous shows, like timed obstacles between checkpoints. So if you like almost get to a checkpoint and then die to like a one hit spike, then you have to do all the hard stuff over again while waiting for certain mechanics to go through. It can make those slogs back to where you were just really painful sometimes. But it on the flip side, it does make progressing feel very good when you do it. So like when you get to that next shrine after getting through a really hard area you've died a bunch in, it's like, oh thank God. It's like finding that bonfire at the very bottom of like a pit you've been stuck in for hours. But yeah, it was a really cool game. I will say though, it's important to mention this for anyone looking at this game. This is a very adult game with very dark religious overtone. It is basically based on Spanish Catholicism, and it takes a lot of what is kind of glossed over in a lot of older stories and makes them like physical, actual things. A good example, for instance, is like there's a baby that is born from splitting a bull in half, and then its face is covered in molten gold, and like you meet this baby like inside the split open bull, and like they did not spare anything on each side of the bull. There's a lot of really dark stuff that happens throughout the game. The premise is kind of like the penitent self-injuring style of Catholicism, like the flagellant style Catholicism has basically manifested in the real world, and how everyone kind of feels spiritually is now worn outside of their skin. So it's very, very weird. Some of the enemies are super disturbing. It is a dark look at Catholicism, essentially.
How many hours?
And the main story kind of follows the penitent one through the great guilt, and stuff like that. So yeah, it is not for younger audiences by any. I wouldn't even let kids near this game. There's some very disturbing scenes.
How many hours did you have in it before you beat it?
What's up?
How many hours?
Honestly, it didn't take me that long to beat. I almost 100%ed it with, just about 20 hours.
That's not too bad.
Okay.
That was pretty. And again, that was like getting every single health pickup, every single. That's weird. I could have sworn it was like 10 hours, but no, it says right here, 21 hours.
It makes me want to go back and give it another try if it's not going to take too long once you like get past those parts. Because my biggest complaint with it, and I hate it when games do this, and it was 2 sections in a row that did it to me, and it was just by chance that I wandered upon these sections because you start off kind of being lost and wandering around. But the first section was a wind section where it was blowing you back and forth. You had to wait for the wind, and I hate having to wait to like make a jump. It's like, okay, I gotta wait for the wind, jump, go to the next section, die, come back, wait for the wind, jump to the next. Okay, get a little bit further, die, have to do the same thing again. And then once I was like, okay, finally, I'm done with that section. Then the next section was just like the lava pouring down from the ceiling. You're like, wait for the lava, go through, wait for the lava. And it was just like, that's too much. That was too much for me. I was like, fuck that, dude. I don't want to. I hate start and stop like that.
A couple other important things to mention, and I completely agree. There are a few specific areas in the game that are pretty much exactly like Zeke's talking about. Specifically, that jumping part with the wind is really rough. There's also an area at the bottom where there's a bunch of toxic gas everywhere that damages you. And if you try to do that early, it can be extremely painful. Real quick correction. It looks like it was about 14-ish hours for me. But it's also important to mention that I had a lot of help from chat. And this is one of those games where it's like, okay, you do these 3 events to get these 3 items. Go find this other girl. You put the 3 items in front of her to get an offering. You take that offering to this guy to get it blessed. God. You take that to a tree to get it burned.
Nightmares
you
of
take
destiny.
that item to a guy. Yeah, like it's very Dark Souls in that regard. There's lots of characters all over the place. There's lots of like mini quests you can do. There's a lot to do in the game. And a lot of it does not tell you like what you're supposed to do with it.
Sure.
So like for instance, just a slightly spoilerish, but there's like this woman you can do a quest for, and when you do the quest, it disappears. And there was this guy that was worshiping her, But you can go to another part of the map, and he's standing on the side of an area. Now, if you're like me and you're like, oh, cool, here he is, and you run up and talk to him, then when you run off the screen, you hear a yell, and the dude throws himself over the side and commits suicide. But apparently, if you do this other quest near the beginning, you get an item, and if you give that item to the guy, then he's like, oh, I have a new lease on life. And then he goes back to town and becomes an NPC and gives you a bunch of items and stuff. And it's like, why wasn't it wasn't even like slightly hinted to me that I needed to do that? Like even my chat who was helping me out, like most of them missed that too. So lots of little things like that in the game, which does, bode well for further playthroughs. And there's kind of like a mini New Game Plus mode. That's good, but not a lot of hand holding.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that. I like that it reminds me of Castlevania 2, when you had to get a red ruby, go to a wall, kneel down, and wait for a whirlwind to pick you up. Why? Because
fucking.
Like I like that kind of stuff. That just weird stuff that they don't tell you about.
Zeke, you should play Destiny. That's
Dude,
all it
listen,
is, man.
Watching you play it and having played Borderlands, like Borderlands 3,
Man,
I'm almost
Borderlands
done.
is a kindergartner's Destiny. All right.
No. I don't play a lot of FPS games.
Yeah.
Like I don't play a lot of them at all. But like after playing Borderlands and watching you do that, I'm kind of getting used to FPSs again. After however many hours I have in Borderlands, I'm
Sure.
maybe I should pick up Destiny again.
Because
I remember how fast and fun and oh my god.
Yeah.
That is still reacting to the Borderlands comment for the record.
Oh, I mean, it is. Like, I stand by that statement. I put 50 hours in Borderlands and had a pretty good time. But, yeah. Anyways, let's not jump into that conversation.
So, we've got 3 more. We can just kind of go over them super quick.
Yeah, we should.
To keep, like, the genres together, I started today my first day of Bloodstained, Ritual of the Night. And this is from the original Castlevania devs. Good God, this game is cool. I think you already played it, JP.
I did,
because there was a huge amount of confusion in my chat from, I kid you not, like 15 plus people who were certain that I had played this game before. And I kept saying over and over, I have not played this game before. And then almost every single one of them was like, oh, I think that was JP. Like, I don't know what was in the water. It's like the Mandela effect from AI. I don't know what's going on. But like so many people were like, I'm pretty sure Go played this game before. I never played this game.
Sure.
Which is one of the reasons I'm playing it now. But this game is like, it's a current day take on a retro game done super, super well. Like there's a huge amount of items. There's tons of different things you can do. There's different builds you can approach. There's crafting. There's even like a small farming mechanic. There's quests to do. A huge Metroidvania style place to explore. Lots of customization in terms of like you have these 5 different shards and how you do those can completely like change how the entire game plays for you. I only played it for 1 session, which was about 4 hours. And I am like, I'm pretty hooked on it. It is cool. So very, very fun one. And definitely for Metroidvania fans, this is one that you'll want to check out. And I can also say it's not coming directly from Blasphemous to this. It feels totally different. This one feels much more like they give you lots of options to tackle the challenges. So you never really get that feeling that things are cheap. Because if you get killed by something cheaply, it's just kind of like, oh, I could have just done this differently, or I'll equip this shard and kind of negate that. Where in Blasphemous, it was just like, you only have so many options, and you just get killed all the time to keep stuff.
Yeah.
So it's a very different feeling from Blasphemous. A little bit easier, I think. They do kind of force you to do the normal difficulty first, unless you do a trick and like name your character Nightmare in all caps or something.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it is a good challenge. I went forward for about 30 minutes today. I was not aware the death penalty was as hard as it was, and I ended up dying without saving and losing like half an hour of stuff. And I was like, "Oh, damn, okay."
You gotta save a lot.
This is pretty rude.
The pacing of that game is interesting because it's very well done, I guess deliberately, but I found myself a lot of times like walking through the game like, I need to find this fucking save point, man. I know it's got to be right here in this door. And sure enough, I'd walk through the door and there's a save point. It was just, thank God.
Yep.
Fucking
It took me 2 progression resets before I was finally went to town. And I was like, I'm buying every way shard there is here. If I ever drop below 50% or 50 health, like we are warping home. Yep. That's it. So I think thankfully, and I've gotten a few items since then that have really helped, like a painting shield, and I have a really good spinny sword shard move, and I actually got the spinny sword too, like we were talking about before.
You've got the OP items. It'll be good. You've heard this then.
Ooh.
You know what that is, right?
Oh, yes.
That random weird death shrill from the spinning
Dude, chat was loving that. Like, yeah, I actually got a soundbite for my soundboard.
So
I thought that was you, JP.
no. I have this on my board because it's hilarious. That's
Yeah.
when you kill the mob, he like goes into a death pose and just like dissolves. That's really weird.
You can't tell if the mob is like painful
Beautiful.
that he's dying or like he just had a great steak and he's leaning back real far. Like,
Right.
oh,
Yeah. It's really weird. That's really weird.
But yeah, it's been great so far, and I really like the fact that unlike in Blasphemous, apparently farming's a huge part of this game, which is really fun. And there's like all sorts of crafting items you can make. There's a store. There's like an old grandma you got to feed junk food to. Got everything. It's a lot of fun.
Like grandma.
So yeah,
Grandma.
looking forward to continuing it, and it's been good. It's been good.
Uh,
Oh, a quick one I wanted to mention, even though I only played it for 4 hours. I got 4 hours in the release version of Disco
Great.
Elysium.
that's where I was headed next. Yeah. We
Yeah.
talked about this game. We watched a trailer on this game.
Oh my god,
Is
this
it good?
game. So Disco Elysium is, I would equate the writing to the original Planescape torment. And that's a big deal
Whoa.
if people know what I'm talking about. Like, this is basically a game that's like 80% reading, 20% gameplay, and many things that happen inside the game are done through this kind of like a dialogue / writing system. The writing is incredible. Like the dialogue, the way that they do it, the humor, it's really, really crazy. The only thing that's super sad to me is, unfortunately, like I said, this game is 80% reading. So in a 4-hour stream, I was basically just reading to chat for about 3.5 hours. And unfortunately, I could tell by the end of it, I was like, I don't know how tenable this is going to be for me to stream. Like my voice was hurting. I was having to use like lozenges and stuff just to keep going. Like it's a tough stream. I'm not going to lie, unless you're one of those people that's really good at reading long, a lot for long term. That being said, man, it was a very, very, very cool experience. The way that it works is you have 5 stats, and each stats breaks down into 6 different things. And what's really interesting about this game is they basically let you role play your dream detective. So you could be a Sherlock Holmes that's super good at logic. You could be somebody that sneaks around. You could be a lockpicker. You could be somebody that's super personable and is dramatic. You could be like me. I was a visual person. So what I would do is I would walk into crime scenes and just like, oh, well, clearly that bookshelf was moved, so it's a little scuffed there, and those scratch marks say that he entered from that way. Like, I was a visual calculus guy. There's people that can talk to the dead. There's people that get flashes of insight for no reason. There's encyclopedic knowledge. So you can basically like think of an archetype for like for like Netflix style series investigation shows. Like every time there's the main character, they always have like a type of investigator they are.
Yeah.
You can play almost all of those in this game in some way.
Nice.
Like it's wild. They give you so many different options. You can also be a huge burly brawny guy that's super dumb and doesn't know how to talk to people and just punches things. And that's a totally viable way to play. So this game honestly is like, if you enjoy reading, this game is like a role player's dream. It is exceptionally deep. It uses a dice system for checks, and there's like a morale and health system. So like a good example of some of the things you can do is I came up on a dead body, but I didn't have the physical constitution to deal with the smell. So I did a roll, and I ended up vomiting so hard that I triggered like this thing inside of my character that made my morale go all the way down to 0, and my game ended.
Oh, you died.
It ended the game. I decided to not be a detective anymore because I was so shook by seeing this dead body. My character said, "Nope, done with this." Nope, out of being a detective. I kid you not.
Wow.
There was another one
cool.
where my character like was put into the situation where your character's an amnesiac, and you get into this situation where this guy clearly knows a lot about you, but he's only giving you bits and pieces. My character got so stressed over this that he had a breakdown, and he had a heart attack and died right there.
Huh.
So it's not by any means a normal RPG. Like there's tons of these little things that play into it to do that. By the way, welcome to all the Kit Bogo Raiders. Good to see
Welcome.
you guys.
We'll be having
Be on
you
it just
in about 10, 15 minutes, something like that.
But yeah, this is a game that I would, if you like reading, if you like really deep dialogue, fully fleshed out worlds, really great soundtrack, the art style is incredible. It looks like you're playing through like an impressionist / realistic painting the whole time. this is a game that you definitely want to check out. It is extremely impressive, and I'm kind of hoping, like I've been kind of back and forth with the devs a little bit. If they can somehow put in a system where I can click a little button and it Google reads out whatever's on the screen, like it just does the voice, just reads that out loud, like that would actually get me to play this game, just because there is so much writing. It is important to mention that just like Planescape Torment, there is a main backbone that's partially voice acted. So whenever you meet like important characters for the first time, like their key dialogue will be voice acted. So that's good. But again, with as much kind of depth and with as many things as you can do in the game, it was like 10% voice, 5% voice acted for all the stuff that I did.
Okay. All right. Zeke, I think it's in early access. I don't think it's out yet.
Yeah, I just looked it up on Steam.
The game is called Disco Elysium. Zeke, if you do want to play it a little bit earlier, just talk to me offline.
Yeah.
I actually have.
Oh,
got a code.
Cool. Okay.
Perfect.
Great.
Yeah. But Zeke, you're somebody actually that I don't think reading out loud bothers you too much, right? Like, because you used to do a lot of stage stuff.
Well, it depends. It depends on the amount, and it depends on the setting. It's just, do I feel like if I go into it knowing it's a visual novel, that's a step in the right direction for sure. Because I like to assign voices and characters and stuff like that.
For the record, I was actually saying that multiple times during the playthrough. It felt like a visual novel CRPG. So many important things take place in the dialogue system that it does really feel like you're basically just reading a giant, very well written book. The vocabulary is 10 out of 10. The way that they go about things is 10 out of 10. It is also important to mention that it is a very adult game. It is a very adult game that may skirt some boundaries for some people, particularly like, for instance, some of the first couple kids you meet are very obviously homophobic, and they use words that even the game beeps out, if you follow me.
Okay.
And it's it's a very adult game. It is not something that I think that probably like teens would probably enjoy. Like it covers a lot of, there's some existential stuff in it. There's a lot of stuff about religion. There's actually, I met a character that broke down all the races in the game and then wanted to talk about why his was the best and go in depth into genetics and stuff. There's some stuff in it that's definitely going to make some people uneasy. Okay. But again, it's very fleshed out. What is this game? It's called Disco Elysium. It comes out on the 15th. But yeah, it's pretty wild. It's pretty wild.
Yeah, it doesn't have a price attached.
I think it's going to be some people's game of the year, to be honest.
The writing's that good? Wow.
Oh yeah. Okay. Oh yeah. It's basically like a really good novel.
Gotcha. All right. Well, we need to take that break and bring Kit on, so we'll save. We're gonna have to just devote probably a whole section to Crazy Nan's questions. We also got Zeke's Indie Week, which we'll double up on next week.
Yeah.
Yeah. I am gonna be selfish though. Co, what should I play in Divinity Original Sin 2? You're the pro here. What am I playing? What character should I play? Not necessarily for story-wise, but like build-wise.
A lot of the meta is mage lockdown stuff.
Shit.
Yeah, okay. Or you could go a full physical party and just do. We'll have to talk because it kind of depends. There's different metas for different playstyles, and also a lot of this stuff has changed since I played it. So my advice may not be best. We'll talk more about it later.
Have you played it before, JP?
I've played it co-op, and it was more like a silly, fun playthrough of like, I'm gonna explode this barrel on you, ha ha ha! Like instead of an actual like, all right, let's take this serious, my guys. Like, yeah. So yeah. I'm,
by the way, for everyone in my chat talking about AI Somnium Files, we talked about that last week.
Yeah.
For the record,
you didn't finish
best visual novel ever made. AI Somnium Files, the best visual novel I've played.
Okay.
If you like him, play it.
Yeah, I don't think you finished it last week, but we definitely talked about it at length. So go check out last week.
That's all I have to say about it. Yeah. I don't want to say anything else because I want everyone to play it and experience it themselves. So go buy it.
Cool. All right. Well, let's take our break. We'll get Kit in here, and then we'll get started with the last hour and talk with the one and only Kit Bogus. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. More drop frames coming up right after this. We'll see you guys then.